Jason Kelce flew back from Minnesota this week, a conquering hero once again. We'll hear from the Eagles legend on how he may have helped sway the Tush Push vote in the Eagles' favor. Plus, is A.J. Brown the best receiver in the entire NFL? He says yes, I say yes. One major outlet is making that case. We're going to take a look at the list and discuss that. And we're going to see how Nakobe Dean is trying to recover from a devastating injury with the help of a ballet instructor. Good for the balance and the core and the grace. As we welcome you here to Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL, alongside Barrett Brooks. I am Amy Fadool. We appreciate you for kicking off Memorial Day weekend with us. B, what is the plan? Fishing, grilling, all of the above? How many home repairs do you have to do?
You know, no home repairs. You know, first I want to say, hey, thank you for everybody to serve everybody, protecting the rights that I have. Have a great weekend.
Yes.
Make sure we honor them, number one. Number two, I caught a couple, tunas a couple weeks ago.
Big tunas.
So I'm going to have some tuna steaks on the grill. And then my grandson, my daughter's so extra, is having something, a 6-month party that happens to be
the half birthday.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a thing.
It's a thing. And, of course, it has to be a baseball thing for my grandson. So I have to prepare for that. So that's what I'll be doing.
I'll be waiting for my tuna steaks to come.
There we go. I
know you do. Time now for our 3-point stance, brought to you by Toyota. First up, Jason Kelce. He saved the Tush Push. He's a good person to save it. The future Hall of Famer called on as a star witness by Jeffrey Lurie prior to the vote earlier this week at those meetings. Today on WIP Morning Show, Kelce explained how things went down earlier this week.
We kind of met for breakfast and kind of had a plan of what we were going to do and an order of how we we're going to say things. And he was even more impassioned in the room. And I think that you try not to take a lot of this stuff like it's an attack on you and personal and things, but I think that the reality is, a lot of this proposal was there because of the Tush Push and because of the success that the Philadelphia Eagles had. And I think that it feels a little bit like it's an attack on your organization and what you guys are doing well. And I don't think that that's necessarily the meaning behind it, but certainly I think Jeffrey voiced some opinions and was very passionate about everything, and definitely he made his point well known for sure.
The legend grows. I mean, his legend was already cemented at the Mummers Parade situation. But, seriously? Every year this guy's doing something else.
Sometimes they call guys who don't come up and do things, locker room lawyers, but come on now. He comes in and saves the Tush Push.
Star witness.
What can he do? You know what I'm saying?
Mayor.
At this point, he's saved the play that the Eagles have made great. Sirianni brought it from Indianapolis. We play it here, and he started it. It all starts with him. He is that spear in that whole play. And for him to say there is no injury, and mind you, he didn't get hurt from it, but he had over 1,000 pounds laying on him because he's the guy at the bottom of the pile. Everybody's on top of him, and if he's not hurt and he advocates for the play, then what are we talking about? I wish they'd have been just a little bit more, translucent, and, so we could see through what they're really trying to do. They're trying to stop the Eagles from being great at the play that they made great. That's what it is,
yeah.
Come on, now, don't do that to me.
All these phony excuses.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't sugarcoat it, what I'm saying? Don't do that to me.
You're trying to hide behind
You wanted
nonsense.
to stop the play because the play made the Eagles very, very successful. They won a Super Bowl, not because of the play. They won a Super Bowl because they're good, and not because of the play. So stop trying to hate on them in that fashion.
They hate us because they ain't us. That's how it works. Second up on our stances, A.J. Brown, the best wide receiver in the NFL. This is at least according to anybody that has eyeballs, and apparently also Pro Football Focus. Trevor Sikkema, who put out his top 10 receiver list on social media. So let's take a look. Brown ahead of the likes of Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. You see Amon-Ra St. Brown, Puka's down there, CeeDee Lamb. Tyreek Hill obviously is always going to be in the list. Terry McLaurin rounding out the top 10. I like this list, and I see on this list it's hard for me to move A.J. Brown down.
It is because, we see it and we understand what he brings to the table. Talking about size, speed, awareness of the game. He has all those intangibles you need to be a great receiver. Look how big he is. A lot of the time he doesn't get looked at, by most of the NFL because the team he plays on. We ran the ball so consistent last year that we didn't use him as much as we should have used him. Hopefully, I think we're going to have to use him in that capacity. It's hard trying to stop him from running a slant. If he wants to catch it, you're not going to stop him from catching it. His deep ball presence and awareness, how he catches the ball, how he uses his body, all these things make him one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the NFL. And I'm glad somebody's taking notice of it. You know, just little things like he's so big. And when they need 8 yards and they run a slant to him, it's almost hard. Unless you double team and have somebody waiting right there for him at the end of the catch point, you're not going to beat him one-on-one. In fact, I was talking to guys, since, he joined the Eagles. At this point, he has been number one on one-on-ones as far as, catching and making first downs. He's been number one.
Yeah.
So, the stats are there. We just don't use them as much as we need to. I know Chase is great, and I would put him up there, but I got to put A.J. in front of him just because he's almost an unstoppable force that we haven't had the chance to use him as much as we should have used him. When we did use him the year before this, he was the man. He went out there and made it happen. 1,500 yards.
Exactly.
He made it happen. So it's hard to go out there and dispute it, but you just look at his body of work.
Yeah. He also has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, Brown was asked about staying ahead of the curve coming off a Super Bowl season. So let's take a listen.
That's an every year thing. Nobody knows what it's going to look like. And shoot, we don't even know. Even in camp, we're trying out things. We're trying new plays, and we're trying to get a new feel for the team because it's a different team. And trying to get a feel for each other and just continue to prepare. And we will know week 1 against Cowboys, honestly.
All right, you mentioned 1,500 plus yards. He can get there again. High hopes for him to do that?
Absolutely. Because we have to change. The NFL is not going to allow us to go out there and run the ball like we ran the ball. Saquon cannot get 200 yards because they're going to stop from getting 200 yards. That means we have to use guys on the outside. So yes, AJ will be back to where he was 2 years ago, and the catches and the yards will be there because you have to go out and throw it to them besides running the rock.
Yeah, and he'll reap the benefit of that.
Absolutely.
The variations of this offense.
Hurts nowhere as bad as buttered.
Yeah, exactly, because they're best friends. Number 3, the Eagles' secondary will be a strength still. This offseason, the Birds have had some key players exit. Darius Slay, Isaiah Rodgers, they left in free agency. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was traded to the Texans. Eagles did use a second-round pick on safety Andrew Makuba, but they're banking on Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson to really fill that void at corner. So can the group be just as good as what we saw last year?
I said yesterday that one of the strengths on the defense that we're just not paying attention to, we're kind of looking over it right now, is our ability to go out there and man-to-man and stop people. Mitchell and DeJean are probably two of the best at their positions. Outside cornerback, you're hard-pressed to find a guy as good as Mitchell. And then in the slot, somebody as athletic as DeJean, hard-pressed to find somebody better than him. Now, we're looking for an outside receiver to be opposite of these guys. I think they have some people to go in there and do it. Keely Ringo, perfect size, 6'2", runs a 4.3 40. He's there. We got Adoree Jackson from the Giants. Starter, first-round pick. Eli Ricks has shown the capacity to go out there and be a great player also. So we'll be all right. And then in the slot, we drafted McWilliams. I say he can come in and be a guy to try to compete at the position. So I think we'll be just fine. And at the safety position, we got to find somebody to replace CJ but I think we have, more than enough to do that. Like you said, Drew Makuba. He come in. This is a guy we needed. We drafted somebody at a strength. And then Sidney Brown, one of the toughest players I've seen. He is a cannon ready to explode all the time. Great player. I'm saying he's going to go in and be in the mix for a starter right now.
I feel like he's a forgotten man, and people need to remember that
he's going to make sure everybody remembers him real soon.
All right, let's check out the playbook now, presented by Supercuts. When we return, the Eagles hit the hardwood at the famed Palestra. It is the best place to play basketball. Wait to see, though, the nasty dunk Cooper DeJean threw down. Plus, Nakobe Dean is working his way back from a devastating injury, and he's enlisting the help of a ballet instructor to do so. We'll have that story. In the Eagles 2024 team, are they really top 5 team of all time, as Saquon Barkley has claimed? Talk about that. This is Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL.
Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles and official automotive